Hello, good morning, everyone. So we continue with constraint satisfaction problem. Just we go through what we have did so far. So we have did the introduction part. Then we also define the representation of atomic state. We also see what are the main three components required for defining constraint problem. That is variable, domain, and the constraint. X as a variable, set of variable. D is a set of domain, and C is a set of constraint. Then we have looked some of the example of map coloring and how what are the variable domain and the constraint in the map coloring example. And we are going to use these examples in our next consecutive explanation. Then also we see the varieties of CSP like discrete variable and continuous variable with finite and infinite domain. Then we also see the varieties of constraint. How can we define the variety of constraint? We also see the example of Christoph arithmetic, and I think we have seen some of the real world constraint satisfaction problems in the last lecture. So today we are continuing with the same. Okay, so we see some standard search formulation. So first thing we need to do is let's say if we can define search formulation for constraint search problems. If I have to solve the problem using search or systematic search, what will be my search space? What will be the state in a search space? Assignment to all the variable. Now, if I always say assignment to all variable are systematic search or local search. Remember, this is the difference what we have studied earlier. So when I usually solve the problem with a local search, I search in, I search move in the solution space. But when I'm using a systematic search, I typically do the partial assignment space. So I will work in the partial assignment space in the partial with my initial state and no assignment whenever whatever my initial state would be. I have not assigned any variable to my successive function. Let us say I have already assigned n variables, then what I will do? I will have to assign some other variable. And how many options do I have? I have n minus l options for each variable. How many possible value do I have? A d value, that is a domain value. So how many child do I have? N minus l into n child. And all the solution are that which depth all the solution, final solution are at which depth, n depth, and we all the variable have been assigned. Because of all the solution, I have fixed depth. I can sort of use a depth first, and there is no infinite search tree. Here is a difficult question. How many levels do I have? I have defined the problem. How many children at the top level n into d? How many children do I have on second layer, that is n minus 1 into d? How many children I have in the next layer, that is n minus 2 into d? And all those three they get keep multiplying because every parent I have those many children and so forth. So how many total level I have the n factorial d to the power n, and how many total assignment in my problem? D to the power n. So this is what you can do when you do the standard search formulation. Let me just revise what we have discussed. Let us start with the straightforward dump approach. Level that fix its state are defined by partial assignment, initial status, and empty assignment, and successive function. It assigned a value to unassigned variable that does not conflict with the current assignment. Yes, it is a constraint satisfaction problem. So every time they assign a value, let us not assign a value where we have a conflict. which previously assigned value. So then at some point I cannot assign a variable a value, then I will do backtrack and current assignment is, and if I reach to the goal state, my current assignment is complete. If it is complete, all the constraints would be naturally satisfied because we are checking for the constraint at every step. This is going to be same for all constraint search problems. Every solution will appear that depth n, so you will have a depth first search which is good algorithm. However, we have n factorial d to the power n levels where the only d to the power n possible assignment is there. Why am I creating more levels than the number of states? Why do we have more states? In such, each state represents the exact path we took at each state. We know we have done this even uninformed search. Now, here is a part important. Who cares whether we assign x1 equal to 2 and x2 equal to 4, or we assign x2 equal to 4 or x1 equal to 2 in a different order? It doesn't matter. Here, in the same state, we have a different path because first we will be assigning x1 then x2, in other alternatively first we assign x2 then x1, and therefore we creating not only the state position but each position we will look at the each permutation of specific order we assign them. But we don't we do not care about the specific order. We do not want this n factorial there. So how we do fix it? So go in order with variable assessment. Always assign x1 first and x2 second. It will work. Will it be good idea? Because now I am not even thinking about this is the right order to assign those variable or I have just fixed this order. I do not quite want to do that. I don't want to have a global order particularly, but I can steal something locally, small change to what I suggested somebody at given partial node to pick one variable. Do not look at all the variables. Pick one best variable wherever this best comes from. You do not have a global best. You are at the place where x1, x2, x3 have been assigned, and you say, okay, x2, I can assign x4, I can assign x5 or x6. Okay, let me assign x6. So every point we can think about which is the best variable to assign, and then I will look at all its value, and when I do this I will still get d to the power n level, which will solve the problem, and this particular algorithm is called backtracking search. I know the depth first search backtracks, it is the depth first search algorithm, but the name backtracking search specially refers those depth first search solutions, where every node we only look at the single variable assignment, and which single variable we look at the many change in the different nodes. But every point we only look at the single variable assignment. So at the top we will pick some variable, then we will have d children, and at any next level we have one variable and then have a d children. So this gives me a d to the power n level, which is what I wanted. And this club solution alone, believe it or not, can solve for twin problem for n equal to 25, but which can solve n equal to 1000 also. That we'll see when we go further about the different strategy of the backtracking strategy. So this is what we call the backtracking search. You are basically going to the depth first search at every point, pick a variable, assign a value, then check if constraints are satisfied. If so, keep moving. Eventually, if they are not, backtrack, and if they are specified, find the solution. And this is work for you, and this is called the backtracking search algorithm. Now, this is algorithm. You can read this algorithm. I will just give you a brief overview of this. Basically, you can select any variable v, then for each value, assign it, check for whether it is satisfy all constraint or not. Now, here is the question. I want you to think about how I have given a general purpose algorithm here. What tricks I can bring to make it even faster in practice? What can I change at any point, or what can I do differently to give a better algorithm? The way you can select the variable, well, I have a options which variable do I have to select. Maybe there is some intelligence in which variable do I have to try first. Another thing, which value do I have to try first? So there are so many variables, and after selecting a variable, I have to select the value from the domain. So selecting a variable, and after selecting the variable, which value I have to assign the first. But which value I want to try the variable which hopefully give me the solution quicker. I do not have to backtrack. So this is, there are two simple ideas comes in the mind. So to improving your backtracking search algorithm, there are these four question comes. That is, which variable, first two just we have discussed which variable to assign the next, in what order the value to be tried. Okay, so those two ideas will study. One area is that, can I detect a failure earlier, or can I say that I have done some assignment even through there is no constraint violation right now. The step down the line, I will get the constraint violation, or after that steps we do not get the constraint violation. That is the most important metric in constraint satisfaction problem. Can we take the advantage of problem structure in the next slide? Before start with the backtracking search uh, example, we'll take one kind of revision what we have did so far. It is very simple representation. It says that each state has a set of variable, and the variable state has a value, and that value can be a discrete value, so from domain, let's say di or any, and the variable xi domain di, and we have a constraint, and the constraint can be written in some of the presentation form of the presentation of inequality in case of the map coloring. So we have seen the example of map coloring, and we try to cover the map of Australia with a constraint that two adjacent state cannot have a equal color. For example, you can see here that this this is a Western Australia, Northern Territory, South Australia. All these three states should not have the same color. So in this case, we have a seven state, that is Western Australia, North Territory on the north, South Australia, Queensland, New South Wales, Tasmania, and Victoria. We have this one. Let us say you want to color them using a domain red, blue, and green. And there are our values which we can define with the backtracking search algorithm. So in backtracking search algorithm, essentially said that I will start from the empty state. So you can see first state will be a empty state. I will start uh, from an empty assignment. So no variable has assigned to any value. And then I will start search. You must have discussed any problem of solving from AI point of view. So we are going to use the search where we will decide of one variable, and we'll discuss last time we order of the variables sort doesn't matter. We can assign any random order, it doesn't matter anything. So we can decide the variable in any order. It can be dynamic order, but at given node, we will only choose one variable, and a branch on that node choose a different variable. A branch on different variable, because we do not We do that in unnecessary exploring the permutation of the variable, which is not important. So we will choose a variable. Let's say we have picked West Australia. So we have chosen the first variable of the West Australia. Then we will branch all the value of its. So in case we have a three domain value, that is red, green and blue. So we can go to the red node, we can go to the green, or we can choose the blue. From red again we have a another branch. So we have next assigned a northern territory with a green or a blue color. We cannot assign a red color because the constraints satisfaction will be not satisfied. So even if you branch northern territory being red, the state is not going to say the constraint violated backtrack. And whenever a state says a constraint violated backtrack, you are going to do the backtrack. And this is keep going. For example, at some point, you may branch on Western Australia red, Northern Territory green, and you know some value of Queensland. Now, just intuitively to look at this and tell me if there is any state you think cannot lead to the solution, which one cannot lead to any solution. The right bottom, this you can see here. Western Australia is a red, Northern Territory is a green, and Queensland is a blue. Why it not lead to the solution? Because South Australia has no value, the meaning all its value are gone, because we cannot assign any value to here, because this is a red, green and blue. All the adjacent side value is assigned to them. So you can say that we need to do the backtrack because there is no any solution. This is called the idea of detecting the failure earlier. If you look at the state with the Western Australia red, Northern Territory green, and Queensland blue, we do not have any remaining value for South Australia. Even though we do not have any value remaining for South Australia, there is no way to search can proceed and lead the solution at this point in the time. So we do not know this, or at least algorithm does not notice. The algorithm thinks that we'll keep searching at the node, it might find the solution, and of course we can notice it quickly and say of just this point there is no point in searching. So what we did, this is called interference. We made it interference internally in our brain, and so said that there is no point of going forward because there will be failure, and there was we made up and we actually proved it. If you think about what is search, the search is let us try these options, let us try that option. At some point we will succeed. But what is interference? The interference is nothing. We are saying we have a proof that we should not go forward because it will not lead a solution. Or we have proved that we should go we should go forward because it will definitely lead to the solution. So if I can do this, I can do not do the search because I know exactly what value to give after interference. And so in today's lecture, we are going to study try to understand the difference between the interference and the search. But before that, let's get two interesting interference what we have to discuss, for which we are going to use to run backtracking search algorithm. Then how to do we pick which variable to set first, and how do we pick which value of the variable to set the first. So that is what we have a major things we have to look in. So this is come up with the idea of minimum remaining value. Okay, so the our goal of answer the first two questions which we have seen before, that what which variable we have to assign the first and what value we have to assign the first, and then we will talk about detecting the failure. So let us say the variable, this is a node, and Western Australia has been assigned red, nothing else will be assigned so far. So which variable do you want to assign next? Let us think about the variables and the values, and they are general variables. The general values, and you have some constraint. So you want to assign South Australia next. Why? It is a maximum constraint. So intuitively, the idea of assigning any variable is that the variable which has the most constraint, we have to assign the first. The first idea, what we come up to the solution of that, which variables we have to assign the next, the idea is coming that the variable which has the most constraint will assign the first. So you can see from this graph, uh, I just make it bigger graph over here, that this South Australia is the more constraint because it is adjacent to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the states are adjacent to South Australia. So it has a more constraint. So we have to start with the first South Australia. So that is what we get the answer of the first. That which variable should we assign the next. And this is what the intuition. So you can always check that which has the more constraint, we will assign that variable as a first. So this is what are the indicators, what are the various indicators, how busy a variable or how a more constraint that variable is. Let us say that is a degree of variable, and that is a one of the most important uh, intuition or heuristic function of that. Another thing will set of possible value that it has enough size. Okay, so what are the possible value each variable has? Suppose one variable has only two possible value, then we will take that variable first. Or one variable has only one possible value, then we will take select that variable first. And that is come with the first important thing, with minimum remaining value. So we have to choose the variable which has the fewest value is remaining. So this is leads to the choice of variable in ordering. So we should first assign the variable which has the minimum remaining value. For example, if I have to assign a red to Western Australia and green to the North Italy, then I have must assigning South Australia next, because South Australia is remaining only with a one value. That's why we have to select that variable first. If I have assigned West Australia initially, I can assign not any one of the North Territory as well as the South Australia, because both has a two variable and two value is remaining. That is called minimum remaining value heuristic. And then sometimes this minimum remaining value heuristic gives the same number for multiple variables. Let's say if we get a same choice, here you can say it Northern Territories also come with a two choice, and South Australia also come with a two choice. So whenever any variable come with the same number of choice, then there is a tiebreaker, and this tiebreaker is reduced by the next function, that is degree of heuristic. So tiebreaker among the minimum remaining variable, we use the degree heuristic. What is degree heuristic? It is choose the variable which has the most constraint on the remaining variable. So after us to do the tiebreaker, so here you can see there is a tiebreaker between the Northern Territory and the South Australia. Both have a 2 color pending. Okay, that is a remaining value will be pending. But the South Australia has a maximum constraint than the North Territory, because North Territory is only two constraint. but South Australia has a 4 constraint. So we'll choose South Australia first. So that is we will call a degree of heuristic. So, sup- uh, uh, suppose you have an empty set and you don't have to start with anything and you start with the degree of heuristic. Then obviously you first start with the South Australia because it has a maximum degree. Therefore, assigning it will make our life simple. And we assign South Australia now. Then the degree of value of the other variable. Let's say there are only two. Again, the degree of heuristic come with a picture. The degree of heuristic say assign one which has a maximum degree, and there are many which have a degree two, like Northern Territory. You can see here. After assigning this, there are uh, this Northern Territory has a two value. This Queensland has a two value. New South Wales also have a two value. So again, there is a tiebreaker in the degree of degree heuristic. So now you can randomly diversify and you assign a North territory first. Once you assign the North territory, now we can talk about the minimum remaining value of the West Australia has been awarding value 1. So Queensland has a minimum value remaining 1. So you assign 1 which has a higher degree between the two with minimum remaining value, that is Queensland. And higher degree value, it has a degree of 1 with the New South Wales, where the New South degree has a 0 with unassigned variable. So Queensland will be the next, and this process is going so on. So this is my variable ordering heuristic. It is called heuristic, not an algorithm. Remember, this the algorithm is backtracking search algorithm. This heuristic, and this is not realistic function of the administrator. This is a different, and this is a heuristic. The way in order you could have here in such a way of different thing of valid algorithm, but choosing the order perfectly or not perfectly give the at least intelligently you saving us time in search. Now the next question, which value do assign the first? So we know that we have selected the variable. Let's say we have selected the variable South Australia first, but South Australia has the three different value. Now which value we have to assign the first? That is the answer of the second question. Now you may not get this from this example, but in, intuitively, which value should we have to assign first, which is set by the least number of people in one assignment. Again, it is not a good suggestion for map coloring, but we have to do something. It is a good suggestion for map coloring, but it is not a, we have to talk about the general variable, general values and the general constraint. So this is not a good idea to assign which is a least number of times set by the variable. It is not a good suggestion. So another thing you can maybe come up with idea that we assign the value which is used least recently or least recent is a better. Again, this is not a good idea because we are talking about general algorithm. So the value that can sort have fit into a large number of the constraint that is appropriate. Now the question, the value that can be fit into the large number of constraint, let us think about what is meaning of fitting in, because if the value does not fit into some constraint, then it is a failure. If there is a value that cannot fit into the constraint, does not satisfy the constraint, then it is definitely a failure. So we need to move back and we need to backtrack. And your intuition is a form. So now we have to do the optimization. This the the entire idea is the value has to be sought into the fit which has a more constraint. But what does that mean? So the heuristic that comes out with the least constraint value, that is what we are going to see here, comes out with the least constraint value and the value of which has a constraint of the other variable at the least. So you have some variable that have been assigned. Let's get away from them. You have some variable that you have assigned. For all those variable, I have picked one variable. I wanted to assign a different value. So now, as soon as I assign a value, other variable may find some reduction in their value space. Understand? So let's say I have assigned a red to the Northern Australia. Okay, then North this North Territory and South Australia has we reduce the space. We cannot assign red to these two. Okay, so the value as soon as you assign a one value to the one variable, there is a reduction in the value space for other variable. Understand? If I find that there is a one value which reduce everybody's space domain, possible value much more and another space. So the reduction in their domain is less than we will pick the one that reduce that domain less than that the solution and we do the backtrack. So after assigning the value, if I reduce more values from the other variable, then I will not assign that value. Suppose assigning a red value over here and I will deselect red from so many variables, then I will not assign red. I will assign the value which will reduce a constraint from other variable in a less number. Okay. So even initially everything is equal. So here there is no any issue. Everything has an equal idea. So we assign Western Australia as a red. Then we assign North Territory as a green, as we say here. Now there are two options. Suppose we have to assign the Queensland, and there are two options we can assign to the Queensland. That is, we can assign the red or we can assign the blue. But as soon as we assign the blue, there is no value left for the South Australia because it cannot come with, so allow zero value for South Australia. But we assign a red, then there is a one value left for South Australia. That's why we prefer this value. So that is known as a least uh, concentric value. So let us try that first. And if you try that first, then it will not fail. You will actually find a solution. Not just combining those two heuristics. Remember, we have studied the back search algorithm where we find to get the solution of 25 queens problem by combining two heuristic, that is minimum remaining value with the degree heuristic and least constraint value, we can solve the 1000 queens problem. So by just notice, by just adding small modification, we can have a huge jump into the entire constraint satisfaction problem. Now we will come to the most interesting point, that is constraint satisfaction literature, which is constraint propagation or interference. That is, we start with the first forward checking. Just So the idea that we will study is forward checking. Now, what is forward checking is very simple. It is basically saying that whenever you assign a value, you figure out which value are no longer possible. In fact, you need to do this for least constraint value heuristic anyway. So initially, you have all the variable and all all the values. And let us say we assign Western Australia as a red. So all the variable is possible with all the values red, green, and blue. Okay. Now we assign Western Australia as a red value. So as soon as we assign the Western Australia as a red value, your Northern Territory and South Australia, we cannot assign the red value. So we have removed the red value from here. Then we have choose to assign. Then we started assign Queensland as a value green. So as soon as we have assigned a green value to the Queensland, we cannot assign this green value to the North Territory as well as the South Australia. So we have removed the green color from these two, as well as we cannot assign the green value to the this New South Wales. So we can reduce NSW with the green color, remove the green color from the cell. So we left with the removing Northern Territory, and we can remove the green from the South Australia is called the forward setting. So whenever we assign a value, anything that is unassigned, we remove that value and no longer possible. So now, last but not the least, we have assigned a Victoria as a blue for for any reason. So we going in some order, and as soon as we assign a blue value or Victoria as a blue color, you can see that after assigning Victoria as a blue, South Australia is not left with any color. So we found that the state is not possible because South Australia is no longer has a value. And because of Western Australia, it cannot be red, because Queensland, it cannot be a green, and because of the Victoria, it is a blue. But we cannot know this is because of what we are doing our checking in a forward checking. So we are maintaining which value are possible. As soon as a value variable become empty, no value is possible, we do the backtrack. So you can see in this state, there is no possible value. We'll do backtrack and we will go here again because that state is not possible. Okay, so we do not do this, and we went to the North Territory and assigned some value, and we went to the New South Wales and assigned some value, and went to the Tasmania, assigned some value, and come back to the South Australia and said no value is possible, and that would be a crazy. So we will doing much search in the subtree, and finally we will come back and say no solution possible at all, and we will detect this ASAP. So we will come back to that. At least we have able to detect in 3 steps. We did, we don't have to reach so down and then we are saying there is no value left. In 3 step only we get to know that there is no value for South Australia. So we just backtrack in the 3 steps. So that is what we can see a good advantage in the forward checking. Now the question, can we detect that in a 2 step? In fact, the state is not possible in finding a solution. So that is possible in 2 step also. So you can look at this graph. Here you can see that in North Territory and South Australia both can come with the blue value, but this is not detected by the forward checking. The forward checking propagate information from assigned to unassigned variables, but does not provide earlier detection of the failure. Okay, so there is no solution here because this is again not a good solution because we cannot assign both a blue value to each other because both are adjacent to each other. So forward checking will not give a earlier failure. Okay, so the question is coming, as you propagate this information of all unassigned variable and remove their values is no longer possible. And this was propagating that constraint from the assigned to unassigned. But now we are saying that we want to even improve this algorithm more. We want to get the place where the constraint between the two unassigned variable can also be taken care. And we can figure out in the next slide, and that what we are going to study in the next lecture. Okay, but from here you can see that the forward checking is not of earlier detection for all the failures, as because it will not check from unassigned to unassigned variable. That's why it in this slide you can say anti and SA cannot be a blue, and the forward checking could not figure out this, and you need somehow a propagate constraint between unassigned variable, and the algorithm leads to that. That is our considered algorithm, and that algorithm we are going to learn in the next lecture. Thank you.